Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with another episode of The House in Fata Morgana. Now, last time we left off, I think really we were just getting into what I believe is kind of the main meat and potatoes of Michelle's story. So, we've kind of reached a point now where we found out that one of our brother's fiance / wife, who we thought was kind of like our friend and who Michelle was, falling in love with, is actually cheating on one of her brothers with the other brother, the soldier brother. So you have the brother that's into the arts, the brother that's a soldier. So the wife of the art brother is cheating on him with the knight brother. And all within this, love triangle, you have Michelle, who is in love with the wife. So there's a lot going on. But basically, Michelle made a move, ended up kissing the wife on, kissing her brother's wife on the side of the corner of her mouth, something like that. And then later that night, sometime later, she overheard the artist brother's wife and her knight brother talking. And so basically the girl that Michelle liked called her disgusting, he said it was disturbing, said that she was scared of Michelle, basically. So that's the point that we're kind of left out on. And yeah, so I think we're kind of reaching the point soon where Michelle's gonna get thrown out of the house. So let's jump right back into it. A lot of stuff going on. The next day I awoke with a terrible fever. I hovered in a sweltering wave of heat, unable to tell my dreams and reality apart, listening to a seemingly endless stream of cracking noises. The sounds were coming from within my own body. I thought I was falling apart. Mother was horribly worried. I'd never been the most healthy child, but I'd never fallen this ill either. I couldn't get out of bed. My voice was raspy like an old woman's. I was genuinely afraid I would wither away and die. My mother called in doctor after doctor to see me, but they all said it was the flu. That bodily pain was common with a fever. While there was a doctor in the house, Mother was able to remain relatively calm. But once they were gone, the anxiety came back. She stayed with me that day and night, ever foregoing sleep. Her hands gripped mine. They held me fast. She had her head bowed as if in prayer. "Don't worry. It'll be all right, Michelle. God is watching over you. He'll protect you. You are his child. You are his angel sent to earth. He will not forsake you. The doctor said it's just the flu." Though her words seemed to be directed at me, there was a vacantness in her voice as if they were really for herself. For so long she had wanted a daughter. I couldn't understand her fixation, but seeing her there through my cloudy eyes, I wanted to apologize for ever thinking spending time with her was agonizing. "How are you feeling? Your mother's here for you, don't worry." But the only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gasp. I drifted in and out of sleep. Mother's hand wrapped around my own, and I had numerous dreams. In my dreams, I was a man. In my dreams, I was Didier and I was Georges. In my dreams, I fell in love with Amy. And in my dreams, I loved her. "You're disgusting." But with one word, the dreams twisted into nightmares. My body was torn into fleshy chunks, and I sunk into the darkness. Several days later, my fever was gone, like it had never been there. However, what the? My voice did not recover. And when I attempted to climb from my bed, the murderous pain in my joints came rushing back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. My voice was unbelievably deep. Alright, I guess now we're kind of transitioning over in terms of our voice. So, this might possibly be coming to where I was thinking of, right? Again, this could be kind of a stretch, but at this point, I'm kind of thinking maybe this whole illness wasn't really an illness. I think maybe it was more of a transformation. The bodily pains might just be growth, like kind of like a growth spurt. Whenever you have a growth spurt, your bones ache, kind of like that. We'll see though. And the pain only got worse. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone hammering a spike into the back of my neck. It felt like my body was falling apart, like my dreams were becoming reality. Michelle! Michelle! When Mother scrambled into my chambers, I remembered the time she had spent at my bedside, and a wave of relief came over me. Again, before we get into this, because I think this next scene here is going to basically confirm my suspicions. But think about it, right? We're thrown out of the house supposedly for having been cursed, and for being a witch, or something along those lines. So, I mean, what better reason would there be to give for having been thrown out of the house than one day suddenly my daughter became a man? Theories. I reached out my hand in a show of vulnerability, but she didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother... What's wrong with your voice, Michelle? I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michelle? A look of restrained fear on her face, Mother stepped toward me, placing her hand on my forehead. Her palm felt hot against my skin. You don't have a fever, but I hurt all over. Oh, I don't think I gave her an accent. My joints. You're still sick, Michelle, but don't worry, you'll be fine in no time. Now, back to bed with you. You're a girl. You're a girl, so you shouldn't be sitting on the floor. It's bad for your back. As Mother repeated the phrase, "you're a girl," again and again, that nagging sense that something wasn't quite right grew more distinct. Was I really sick? Was this actually my voice now? And if it was, what was I turning it into? My voice was certainly not a girl's voice. Show us a mirror, man! Come on! Give us a mirror! Take a peek what's down there. Let's go. Come on. My voice never went back to normal, though, so Mother ordered me to remain in my room. I hadn't recovered yet, and so long as I was sick, I couldn't be let out. Again, something felt wrong about her calling into sickness, but I had no evidence to the contrary. I had no way to know I wouldn't get others sick if I exposed them, as she claimed, so I had no choice but to do as she said. In time, Mother stopped visiting me, and the only people I saw were servants. They did their jobs but refused to look me in the eye. No one else came to see me, though. Not Amy, Didier, or Georges. 1 month passed, then 2, then 3. Occasionally, the pain in my joints would withdraw. At other times, it would worsen. Whenever I would drift off to sleep, I would hear the sound of my own joints creaking. I would dream of a woman standing in the courtyard, her soft chestnut hair fluttering in the wind as she twirled to face me. A smile on her face and her breasts exposed. Kind of weird, but okay. Okay, we'll get buddy. Oh. One day, after around 6 months of servants refusing to make eye contact, I stopped one and made a request to have a mirror brought to my room. While he hadn't acknowledged me, the next day I had my mirror. By that point, I was fairly certain I knew what was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because none of the multicolored dresses hanging in my wardrobe fit me anymore. Ah, so I was correct. Pulling the heavy red cloth covering the mirror aside, my completely naked body came into view. Huh. Something resembling a mix of a chuckle and a sigh of pity spilled from my lips. This is me. 6 months. After only 6 months' time, I could hardly recognize myself. Extending my hand for the mirror, I traced the outline of my bony reflection. My shoulders lacked my mother's curves, and my skin Amy's sheen. I was pale and haggard, but structurally I looked like my brothers. Obviously, being younger than me and not as active, my muscles lacked any kind of strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a sword. I was a full head taller than I had been 6 months earlier. Hey, there you go, that's what the bone creaking was. It was literally an extremely rapid growth birth, so no wonder it hurt so much. And I felt an odd certainty that I wasn't done growing either. Staring at myself in the mirror, I traced my name across the surface. Michelle. Don't need the last two. M-I-C-H-E-L. Ah, so that's how he came Michael. Again, I read in one of y'all's comments that it's still I believe one of you guys said it was still technically pronounced Michelle, but just for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna say Michael. So, for the first time in my life, I liked my name. I still didn't think an angel's name suited me one bit, but it was staggering how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Those last two letters changed the meaning entirely, turning it from a girl's name to a boy's name. Kind of off topic, but I am very curious. Do we now have male genitals? Like, kind of out of nowhere, but again, I feel like I feel like I remember us having a moment with Giselle where we were both naked. And so I feel like if that didn't give it away, then clearly our genitals must have changed as well. This now makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for Didier, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feelings I had for Amy, the indecent dreams I'd been having. I was always male. Okay, I say that like that because it makes me think maybe they were hiding her gender, but then I kind of realized, oh well, no, that can't be the case considering we just underwent a literal fucking transformation, so never mind. I cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. I laughed so hard at the sight of myself, my stomach hurt. It was the first glimmer of light I'd seen in this locked room for far too long. This was what I was supposed to look like. My life up until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl was all a lie. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. I was always a boy, but I had been told I was a girl. Forced to act like one. Of course, that wouldn't feel right. They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in this house needed to. Fueled by this one desire, I wrapped a sheet over my shoulders and threw open my door. It seemed ridiculous how long I'd followed Mother's instructions and remained cooped up in my room. And now I felt fantastic. If there truly was a God in heaven, then this change within me was his answer to my prayers. A manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed him. The farther I proceeded through the corridors, the more eyes I felt on me. The midday sun showed obnoxiously bright through the windows. But now, with its piercing radiation illuminating my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light. I could hear the family gathered in the dining hall. Everyone but me. Didier's voice complained about the simple meals the church provided, but his pride came through in his laughter. Georges's voice playfully bragged about life at the royal court. Father's voice informed everyone his investments had borne fruit, and with the money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family's. She gave vague, empty indications she was listening, though mostly stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for Georges, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact she was sleeping with Didier. It was all a facade, a mere shadow of a family. It's a shame Michelle couldn't be here. Then we would have everyone. I was there. I was right there. I hadn't gone anywhere. You had just locked me in my room. I hope she recovers soon. I was never sick at all. The child you called Michelle was actually your son. That was all there was to it. Huh? What? Everyone's gaze is concentrated on me. I gave them all a quick glance, and then, with my deepened voice, I said, I am cured. Damn! Damn! I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you, Father? Michelle? Michelle? This boy is Michelle! A wave of chatter spread through the hall. Mother went pale. Father objected. Didier stared. Georges gaped. Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl. What's going on? Someone tell me, what's the meaning of this? You were dressing your son up like a girl, Mother. I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise I wouldn't have put my hands on him like that. You lied to me! I would have never agreed to it had I known. No, you're wrong. Michelle is my daughter. You called that a girl. All these months I was worried because you said he was sick. But that was all a lie. You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him up in his room. Is that what this is? And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop that! Don't look at me! Stop! Don't give me that look! You said you can tell what's going through my mind, didn't you? What? Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so damn full of yourself. I have no interest in a whore like you. So why don't you go cry into Didier's arms? Oh shit! Oh shit! Shots fired. You. What? Huh? What are you talking about? Why Didier? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone want to explain that for me? What had once been a nice family meal was now utter chaos. For the briefest moment I felt sorry for Georges, but that whisked away almost immediately. There was a crash from the table and dishes fell shattering against the floor. Cursed! A chilling darkness oozed from her voice. She's cursed! She was my daughter! I saw it with my own eyes! I gave birth to her! She was a girl! Michelle was a girl! A malevolent curse has been placed on her! When Mother lifted her head, I had difficulty believing that she was the same woman who had sat by my side as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess and deep creases covered her face. Restrain her! Throw her in a room and lock the door! She's a girl! A girl! She was a girl, I swear it! Open your eyes! Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cry sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheets off my shoulder, throwing it to the floor. I am not a girl! And shouted. Eek! Restrain her! Please, someone restrain her! Fear reigned in the great hall. But then several moments of icy silence were broken by a muttering that shocked me as much as anyone else. You're not a boy or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination! You're not a boy. You're an abomination. What? I had seen myself in the mirror. I was undoubtedly male. Lacking in strength though they may have been, I had visible muscles. My chest was flat and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep and I had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male. I had to be male. What else could I be? Okay, so I think this answers this is about to answer the question I had earlier about the genitals. Maybe we don't have any. Theory. Food for thought. So why Why was Amy looking at me like some kind of strange creature? A chill ran down my spine, and I suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being so exposed. There it is. There's nothing there. You've got nothing there. Nothing there. I didn't understand what she was talking about. Unable to press further, I fell silent, at which point several servants burst into the great hall and restrained me. She's the girl. She's my daughter. Mothers, seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over. She was a girl! As Mother wailed, she wandered off somewhere. Father stood there in silence. Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. Georges was still in a panic, and Didier clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which is when I realized I had made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. Okay. So I was right about the transformation part of this. So it's not necessarily... It doesn't seem to be that It doesn't seem to be that it's like a medically transitioned thing. It doesn't seem to be that it was a genetically, like, phenomenon kind of transition thing. It doesn't seem to be that we were a boy the whole time. But... Like I kind of figured it might have been, it's more of a seemingly supernatural kind of deal where we've basically been turned into... I hesitate to call it genderless, because there's an obvious gender here, at least in terms of their overall like bodily build and look and makeup being male, right? But then, again, we don't have any genitals at all. So, kind of interesting. And there's going to be a reason for that, which obviously we're going to have to find out. But interesting, very interesting. A lot of questions answered in that single scene there. I was once more caged up in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded over so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. Also, it makes sense why Michelle wouldn't really know about the importance of the differentiation of genitals. Because how old was she? Like 13, I think, something like that. So that's no real surprise. I received no visitors except the servants, and again, none of them would look me in the eye. Every day was the same. Day in and day out, day in and day out. The only time the routine changed was when, on occasion, a servant would arrive bearing a letter. It was my mother's handwriting on the parchment. We lived in the same house, yet she refused to show herself before me. I had no choice but to respond to her letters. She demanded I speak like a girl, and I didn't have the strength to defy her. There was a constant sense of urgency to her letters, like she might fall apart completely at any second. And so I did as she said. I signed each letter Michelle, the female name she bestowed upon me at birth, which I so despised. Every time I used that name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. On paper, she expressed her concern for me, but that concern only served to cause me more pain. So every time I took up my quill, my hands trembled. Mother, prayed daily that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Is that why my body changed? Was it not because I was male? There's nothing there. What does she mean by that? Why did she look at me the way she did? How am I an abomination? Why? I don't understand. Someone, anyone, please tell me. Someone, please! I've bought your supper. I'll be back shortly to retrieve your dishes. I'll be going then. Wait. What? Wait a minute. Yes? What do you need, Michelle? Are you a man or a woman? Pardon? Which are you? I am exactly what I appear to be. Which are you? I am a man. If that is all, I will be going now. Clothes. Off. What? Take your clothes off. Right now. Everything. Even your underclothes. Surely you jest, Michelle. I'm very serious. I could not possibly. Why not? I could not expose myself. I ordered you to take off your clothes. You mean to humiliate me? I beg you, please reconsider. What are you? You're a servant of the Bollinger estate. Damn, this is fucked up. And what am I? I am a child of the Bollinger family. I may be locked up and imprisoned in this room, but that doesn't make you any less my servant. Am I wrong? Clothes off. Michelle! I ordered you to take your clothes off. Oh my god! This poor guy! Not even the tiniest sliver of guilt arose in my conscience. I felt no shame in what I was doing. All that mattered to me was figuring out what Amy had meant. I wanted to find the truth, not knowing I would have been better off in the dark. His face twisted in humiliation, the servant undressed before me. In the dim candlelight, the man's body was shaped almost like a rectangle, and at a glance, he didn't appear much different than me. A second later, though, I found my answer. I found the one crucial thing he had that I didn't. Why? My lower body lacked the part that made a man a man. Are you satisfied, Michelle? It was then that I finally learned what a man's body was supposed to look like. I'm begging you, please allow me to dress. It would be an unbearable shame to remain unclothed any longer before the young Bollinger daughter. Daughter? You still insist on calling me a damned girl. Look at these shoulders. My chest. Listen to my voice. How can you possibly think any of that belongs to a girl? But how you appear does not... There was a distinct look of fear in the manservant's eyes. Not out of respect for our difference in rank, but out of disgust for this incomprehensible thing standing there before him. Those trembling eyes, and the reality dangling there before me, blew the lid once more off everything I had been holding back. Without that, you would be no different than me. What? Everything else is the same. So why does it make such a difference? That you have one and I don't! Michelle, I am a man. I am a man just like you. I am no one's daughter. And if you still insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like me. Huh? Without that, you're no different than me. Oh God, please. It was a mix of panic and dread that pushed me over the edge. And so, in order to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another pain. Please don't do this, Michelle! In a blind frenzy, hardly even realizing what I was doing, just riding the current of my erupting emotions, I swiped a knife off the tray the man had brought, knocked him down, and climbed onto him. I'll get rid of it! I'll make you the same! Without it, you'll be just like me! Get off me, please! Someone help! Oh God, I'll make you just like me. Get in here, someone, anyone. Michelle. She's delirious. Through the fog of hysteria, I suddenly realized I was surrounded by several servants. The next thing I knew, I was on the floor beneath them. There was as many, if not more of them, than when I had made the scene in the great hall. A dozen menservants stared down at me, their eyes filled with fear and revulsion. And in the shadows beyond the crowd, I saw Mother looking on me with vacant eyes. Mother. Mother! Why? Why will you only speak to me through letters? Why did you say I'm cursed? Mother, I'm male. I was always male. Tell me that I am, Mother. Let me out of here, please. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not cursed. Mother, say something. Mother! After that, I was shut in my room again, and even the servants stopped coming. I pushed and I shoved and I pulled and I pounded with all my strength, but the door and the windows wouldn't budge. A day passed, then another. With no food or water, I started fearing death was upon me. I'd had no idea how miserable it was to go so long without water. My throat was dry and cracked, but it felt like it was on fire, making breathing difficult. 2 days, 48 long hours. It felt like I was losing my mind. After just 2 days, my skin stretched tight across my bones, looking hard and dry in the soft candlelight. Water. I need water. Someone please give me water. Why won't anyone bring me any? Why? My family had abandoned me and were leaving me to die in this room. When I realized that, I broke into uncontrollable shaking. The helplessness threatened to suffocate me. Fear of death turned to panic, which only scrambled my already confused mind further. I grabbed a chair, swinging it at the window, at the door. But all my attempts ended in crushing failure. Anyone! I clawed at the door, begging for help. Someone open the door! Anyone! Water! I need water! 1 drop, that's all I need! I'm going to die in here! Someone! Anyone! Mother! Father! Terrier, Joshez! Someone open the door, please! Help me! Someone! I need water! My throat hurts! It burns! I'm so weak! Someone, water! Terrier, Joshez! Anyone! But not a single soul came to the door. With no food or water, the 3rd day came and went, and then the 4th. By that point, I was expectedly devoid of any sense of dignity, and I sat there covered in all manner of human filth. As my body quickly wasted away, still I clung to the vain hope that someone would open that door. It was all I had. Occasionally I would hear footsteps. Whenever I did, I mustered up what meager strength I had left to bang on the door. Whoever's there, please open the door. I'm begging you, someone. But my pleas fell on deaf ears. Though they didn't respond to me, I could hear the Abigails muttering to one another in the corridor. Did you hear that? Yes, I did. I wonder what's gotten into Lady Michelle. They say she was cursed. Maybe she sold her soul to the devil. How dreadful. We should stay away from that door, if we don't want to be cursed too. I am not cursed. I did not sell my soul to the devil. I'm kind of scared. I might have to find work somewhere else. Gotta make sure we stay away from that door. Why do you think that I'm cursed? I never did anything wrong. Lady Michelle has lost her mind. She's deranged. I'm scared even thinking about her. I'm not deranged. My mind is perfectly fine. She's right crazy. She's right mad. No, I'm not. I'm perfectly normal. Someone please get me out of here. The 5th and then the 6th day passed, and by that point I was hovering on death's brink. I lacked even the willpower to hold myself up against the door, so I simply lay on the cold floor waiting for the end. I felt no sorrow, no anger, no despair, nothing. I had been sucked completely dry. I couldn't even compose a coherent thought. Which is why when the door I had so yearned for actually did open, and someone stepped inside standing over me, I was unable to process it. My God, what a mess. Hey, are you still alive? Well, look at that. I was afraid you'd be dead. It was Amy's voice. I'm sorry, really. I didn't mean you much harm. But after what you said in front of the whole family, I was a little upset. I couldn't tell what she was saying. All I could hear were her garbled sounds, and all I could do was moan at her.
The servants are all afraid of you now after your little episode, so I volunteered to bring you your food in their place. Everyone was so grateful. I don't think anyone likes you anymore.
Eventually, my muddy mind managed to make sense of the thing she was holding in her hand. A tray of food. I could smell it from here.
At first, I just gave your food to a stray cat. I wish you could have seen it devouring every last bit. What I didn't know, though, was that people can die in just a few days without water. I never intended to kill you. I just didn't know. So I'm really sorry about that. Water? But you're alive. For someone so physically weak, you sure are tenacious. Isn't that nice? You have one thing you can be proud of. Water. What was that? Water? You want water? Hold on, I've got some right here.
She picked up a goblet with her delicate fingers. My hand swiped weakly at the air, trying to grab it. A grin spread across her lips, and then she let go. Damn, this is an evil bitch.
Go on, drink. You'd better hurry, or the rug will absorb it all. You wanted water, didn't you? Then drink.
In that moment, I could hear the sound of the last of my dignity crumbling away. Driven solely by my survival instinct, I bent down toward the rug, pressing my lips against the spreading puddle.
You really did it. This is too good, Michelle. You look like a cat. No, cats are much more graceful. I can't stop laughing. The daughter of a prestigious family, the Bolingers, sucking water out of a carpet. I wish I had a pen to come here to capture this image on canvas. So you know, I accept that I made a mistake, Michelle. I promise I'll bring you your food from now on. I'll take very good care of you. This is going to be fun.
Listening to her childish yet deeply malicious laughter, I understood. I was her plaything now. My hell was only just beginning. Having gotten food and water, my body recovered somewhat, but I was hardly in peak condition. That would take time, given how badly malnourished I had been. Amy continued to treat me like her pet, constantly stoking the flame of rage within me, but I was too weak to stand on my feet for long, and talking hurt my throat. I assumed it was a calculated effort on her part to maintain power over me, to keep me as miserable as possible. She always had a smirk on her face as she gazed down at me.
Come on, open up. Today I'm going to feed you myself. What's the matter? I can't put anything in your mouth. I can't put anything in with your mouth closed. Do you want to starve to death?
Amy, why are you doing this?
Why? Because it's fun. Why else?
You married into this family, you sick wench. What gives you the idea you can treat me?
Are you saying that because I married in, I'm of lesser stature than you? That's true, I am. But what's your point? You think you can intimidate me with formalities?
Amy.
I would rather you not speak my name if you wouldn't mind.
That doesn't excuse your treatment of me. Someone, Didier or Georges will make you pay for this.
You don't have a single friend here, Michelle. No one to take your side. And no one to say a thing about me playing with you. Assuming you were somehow able to tell someone, no one would believe you.
That's a lie.
Do you have any idea what people are saying about you? They say you've gone mad, that you've sold your soul to the devil. Do you honestly believe anyone would trust you?
I'm not mad.
I don't know. You look plenty mad to me.
Grr. Fine, then I'll run away. I'll escape from this estate, from you.
You think you could survive out in the world with that body? A stray cat could live more than you. You'd never find work. I'd give you a week at best.
You can't be so sure of that. Maybe I could make it on my own.
Maybe, but either way, there's no way you're getting out. You try to run, someone might just cut your legs off.
How's that at all necessary?
Don't ask me. Maybe because your curse hasn't broken. You know, you're lucky you're even allowed to live. And you should be grateful to me for volunteering to take care of you. Nobody else wanted to have anything to do with it. So if you want to keep living, you should show me some respect. And you have to do everything I tell you to. Understood?
So this is the real you. You were just pretending to be respectable, when in reality not only are you sleeping with Didier, you are a downright vile woman. You've been putting on an act ever since you got here.
Oh, that makes it sound like I'm somehow worse than anyone else. I'm quite normal, thank you.
How's this normal?
Listen to me, Michelle. The side of me you see right now isn't necessarily the whole thing. The sweet girl I am for the family is also me. And when I held you in my arms, that too was me. I'm not putting on an act.
Liar!
Although, to tell you the truth, I never actually liked you, so that part was the lie, yes. If Mother hadn't asked, I would have never even considered getting friendly with you.
Amy!
You know, life as a noblewoman is so dull. It's so restrictive. No room for love at all. So can you really blame me? There so happened to be the most wonderful night right there for the taking. Why shouldn't I go and right after him? I'm still young. Let me have some fun, you know. Not like women have much else in the way of recreation.
So it wasn't Didier, but you who seduced him. And it would all have worked out beautifully. Oh.
And it all would have worked out beautifully too, if you'd only kept your mouth shut. You ruined our family gathering and damaged my reputation. And you called me a whore. That wasn't very nice, now was it? Is it any surprise I'm a little sore? You brought this on yourself, Michelle.
I brought this on myself? Don't you dare! Nothing justifies what you're doing to me. I'm not the disturbed one. You are a crazy whore and you don't even try to pretend otherwise, damn you.
Oh my, such language. You're not being very nice to me, Michelle. Girls aren't supposed to talk like that, you know.
I'm not a girl.
Then what are you?
I'm a man.
A man? With that body?
Amy quietly rose, grabbed me by the hair and shoved me to the floor. Let go of me!
You call yourself a man? You can't even get out of a girl's grip. I'm not all that strong either. In fact, I'd say I'm rather weak. Just a small, powerless girl. If you were a man, you'd have no problem breaking free, malnourished or otherwise. But you can't.
Get... She traced the lines of my emaciated ribs with her nails, traveling slowly down my chest.
But even ignoring that, you're missing the most important part.
Stop! Get off of me! I tried to shove her aside with all the strength I could squeeze out of my arms, but as Amy had said, I couldn't even overpower a girl. All I could do is lie there beneath her and beg. Get off me! Groaning in anger and frustration. Her finger came to a stop just above my navel. She looked up at me with a sweet smile, and then pulled her hand away. And just as a wave of relief spread through me, she shoved me back, jumped up, and slammed her foot between my legs. I shuddered as the pain jolted up my spine. Damn, that's brutal. Amy looked down on me as I screamed. A smirk spread across her face.
Oh my, does that hurt? There's a surprise. Even without boy parts, it still hurts.
Stop, please. And she didn't stop at stepping on me. I'm begging you, stop, please. She dug her toes into my flesh.
What are you exactly, Michelle? From the feel of it, you don't have quite proper girl parts either.
Amy, please. On top of the physical pain, unbearable humiliation and shame corroded away at my spirit.
What a strange creature you are.
Stop! If I could have died right then and there, honestly, that would have been preferable to the emotional hell she was putting me through.
You should take a look at yourself in the mirror, Michelle. You're crying, sobbing like a sad little girl. Not much of a boy, are you? And you lusted after me with this body. Seriously, you're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me.
Amy's abuse was not a one-time occurrence. As she had promised, she came to feed me every day. But her arrival brought nothing but anguish and torture. Every day she chipped away at more of my spirit. But I hadn't succumbed to her yet. My anger still overpowered any fear I felt. About a week after Amy started caring for me,
Have you been a good girl, Michelle? I brought you your supper. I'll set it right here for you. What's the matter, Michelle? Your food's right there. It's going to get cold. Go on, eat. But no using your hands. Crawl over and use your mouth. Come on, eat. Or would you rather I feed you?
You...
What was that? Do you have something to say?
Oh...
I can't understand a word you're saying, Michelle. If you would eat, you would have enough strength to talk.
Oh, you...
Huh?
I'm going to kill you, Amy! That was, I believe, the first time in my life I had felt a sincere, overpowering desire to end someone's life. I wanted to see her dead. With my hands and legs tied up, I lurched for her, and like the dog she so wanted me to be, I chomped down on her wrist. The taste of someone else's blood was far more unpleasant than I had expected. I felt like I was going to vomit. But I was determined to not let go of her wrist for any reason. I would gnaw through the bone and rip her entire hand off. She could beat me unconscious and I still wouldn't let go. She would have to kill me to get me off of her. I wanted her to feel the same pain I felt when she trampled on me.
Let go!
My body never did what I wanted it to, though. I could swear on my life I wouldn't release her arm, but I could never make good on my determination. Amy's foot flew up to my emaciated gut. The pointed tip of her chew dug into my flesh like a knife, and I collapsed to the floor in a fit of convulsions. And just as I was about to cough up a mouthful of stomach acid, she rammed her foot into my abdomen a second time. She didn't even give me enough time to get to my feet, let alone fight back before she kicked me again. Again and again and again and again.
Stop!
My gut, my chest, my legs, my face.
What's wrong with you? Don't you get it? You're not the one in control here. You should be thanking me. What you did to me that day was incredibly hurtful, yet here I am bringing you your food. Can you not see just how kind-hearted I am? So why would you go and bite me? What would possess you to do such a thing?
Gasping for breath, my consciousness slipping away from me, I caught a glimpse of Amy's eyes as she swung her leg back for another kick. And when I did, a single word rose to my mind. Demon.
Isn't that something? You can't even stand up to a girl. I'm not that strong. I'm weak and frail. This is the first time I've ever kicked someone. I have absolute control over you, Michelle. You understand that now, right? You learned your lesson, didn't you?
Not an ounce of strength remained within me. My tongue and cheeks were torn up, and my mouth tasted of blood. Thinking herself weak and having no experience in the ways of physical violence, she knew no restraint. The ignorant can be so much more brutal and viciously relentless than the seasoned. My vision had gone red, and I could hardly feel my own face. There was a strange gurgling sound with every breath I took.
Oh, jeez. What am I going to do about this hand? It hurts like crazy. Oh, I know. I'll tell everyone you finally lost it and try to bite my hand off. They'll all feel so bad for me. I can just see the sad looks on Didier and George's faces.
They will not.
You know your brothers have completely given up on you. My deranged sister is nothing but trouble. You know what you are, Michelle? You're a demon child.
Why was I the demon and not her? Why did no one come to my aid? Several times I considered ending my life, but every time I did, memories of better days came back to me. Of the time before my body had transformed, the days when we were all so sure of our happiness, kept me chained to life. Why couldn't things still be the same way they had been? In my heart, I hadn't changed at all. So how'd things ended up like this? Uh-oh. We're gonna go ahead and stop it there. Okay, let's go ahead and return to the engine. Okay. Questions have been answered. So it was a seemingly unexplainable transformation. So that confirms and answers one of my questions. The other one, with the whole like genitals thing was also answered. We have nothing down there. So here's how I view it. This is kind of me trying to view it from both sides. On Michelle's part, like, obviously you kind of understand it, right? Being a girl, especially in the time period this is based off of, right? You have little to no rights or freedom to do anything. And not only that, but on top of that, she's feeling these like sexual and romantic urges towards other girls, which would obviously be looked down upon. So then once she has this transformation, she's thinking, oh, hey, look, I proved you wrong. I actually am a guy. Haha. But then to the family, understandably so. Now, don't get me wrong here, right? If your daughter all of a sudden within the span of 6 months completely changed, fucking grew, grew 12 inches, had these broad shoulders, masculine build, and lost her, defining private parts, and all of a sudden waltzed into the place and was like, haha, I'm a man, now my voice is deep and everything, and yada yada yada, and also Amy is cheating on Georges with Didier. I would be I think it's pretty understandable to like freak the fuck out and be like, yeah, no, something's seriously wrong with this child. Cause I mean, like, let's be real here. I think anybody would have that kind of reaction. But then obviously we're now at a point where they've completely shut her out, completely cast her aside. And also now you have Amy tormenting her. So it's kind of like, it's understandable, but obviously they've pretty much just they've quite literally just locked away the problem, essentially, without facing it, and are now letting Amy do whatever she wants to Michael. So it's this is a very fucked up story. I'm not gonna lie here, like, this, I feel like a lot of, like, I get it, right? A lot of this stuff relating to, like, oh, she kicked me in the the crotch where nothing's there, or even way back when we're talking about Giselle, being waterboarded in a bucket of shit and piss and all kinds of human excrement. I get that it's supposed to be shock factor, but it I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little bit fetishistic. Like, can we agree on that? Can we agree that's a little bit weird? But putting that aside, I think we're now about to get to the point where we're going to be outcasted to the mansion. So, and then after that, I guess we're going to have to return to the plot of saving Giselle and fighting Morgana, which we have been long since kind of disconnected from at this point. But that's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you'd like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any of the videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when a new one of those videos comes out. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!